Well, I've got to say, Tucker Carlson, who I've been critical of in the past, is very charming in person. You just heard that hour-long interview with Tucker Carlson, and I'm going to put out a edited video. And by edited, he's not going to be edited, but I'm going to edit in neurotically with Rob Dew and some other people, everything I say being backed up in a 37-minute interview we did today right before we did the live show. And that's going to be out later in the week. But let me tell you, it shows a major sea change in media that somebody like Tucker Carlson would reach out to us about a month ago saying he wanted to come to Austin and go out to dinner with me. And then I said, hey, forget dinner. Why don't you come into the studio and we'll have a debate about a couple things in studio. We've got him on tape freaking out when he saw Building 7 in there on the screen in the TV studio. So this is a big way to reach out to people and a big way to expand the libertarian movement. And we talk about how the libertarians are taking over the Republican Party, how the Republican Party is trying to block that. I mean, we're talking about real solutions here. Obviously, folks, there is just so much news that's up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. And I got ready for the radio show at about 7 a.m. at my house today. Then I don't usually do an interview right before my own show. So I kind of got blindsided by it today, having him on during the first hour. But there is so much news we're going to be covering. But what I want to do is I want to open the phones up to get your take on any of the big issues that are out there. As we learn that Obamacare, the IRS announced, as you know, on Monday, that indeed on their own website they will be taking money out of your bank account. They will be tracking you in the tax return with penalties and interest if you don't, A, get insurance, or B, pay the $5,000 fee. To me, that's bombshell news of the bombshell news. So I covered that Sunday. I covered that on Monday. Here we are on Friday. I'm back covering it. That's basically all I think about what upsets me the most. Why isn't there a move to repeal Obamacare? You got massive layoffs happening. You've got it hurting businesses everywhere. You've got it getting rid of people with pre-existing conditions. You've got it doubling, tripling, quadrupling prices. It is such a nightmare. And if they can get away with that, they can get away with anything. And I'm seeing it hurt people I know. If this thing still keeps going through, we already pay people pretty good around here. I mean, I pay them more than most people in media at their level. And folks, when you get, quote, health care, you end up paying for at least half of it. And there's some pools out there and things, but a lot of my crew already have their health care. Or they're being kicked off of what they had, and it's going up. And it's going to be really hard to keep the number of people we've got and to keep folks at the hours they are. There's a big temptation to cut people and cut their hours so that you can have more people and not have to pay for the health care. Which should be one thing if the health care was $12,000, $15,000 a year, like it was on average just last year. We're looking at $25,000, $30,000 for people a year. I mean, that's half of what some of them get paid or more. So if you're, quote, in business, and I'm not in business, I'm in media, but I have to fund myself, so I am in business. Most people in media don't have to do that. Most of the talk show hosts and radio hosts, they just have managers and handlers, and they just get a paycheck and go play golf all day. And I'm not knocking that. I'm in here in the guts of the operation from mail order in 1997 at my house, shipping out, my first film to fund my operation. So I know what this is doing to the economy. I know what it's doing to our listeners. And it is the most monumental financial screw job tax I've ever seen. The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding, making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
The brainwashing media machine has been turned up on on high, and it's time for humanity to double down on the true people's media and strike back against the tyrants that are destroying our civilization with their lies and fraud. We are the resistance. You are the resistance. You are the info war. It is more important than ever to realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv.